Hello. Okay, we made it. We made it. Man, it's been a couple weeks. Last week was Thanksgiving here, and the week before that, I just didn't have it in me. So thank you for being patient with me. I appreciate it. And I'm here today to talk about the incredible range that we have as a human voice. You know, this is something I've been thinking a lot about lately. So much of us have so much range. The human voice is made to do incredible things. It's made to do so many different sounds. It's made to have other people experience our emotions in ways that we don't even know that we are expressing on purpose, right? Like when we are sad, people can usually tell, even if we're trying to hide it, by our voice, right? Like even if you're not crying, somebody asks you how you are and you're like, I'm fine. Like even just that little tonal change instead of I'm fine, right? I'm great. Or the words you choose, or the amount of holding back in your voice. Humans are incredibly adept at hearing those things. And that's what makes singing so incredibly touching to the listener, you know, because I can sing a phrase 14,000 different ways, but it's the one that is the most true to how I'm feeling. Yeah, I knew my timer would go up. It's the one that's the most true to how I'm feeling that really gets to you, that you love the most from your favorite artists. It's the stuff that's like imperfect and cracky, and my voice is about to give out because I'm feeling a certain way, or I was thinking about something and I wasn't 100% focused on how I wanted to sing that note, but the emotion got in the driver's seat and led me to how that note sounded, you know? That's the coolest stuff about singing. It's not about how Cynthia Erivo does that amazing riff, although chicken skin, I tell you, amazing. It's not about how somebody in the opera world can sing the highest note ever, right? It's not about the most impressive little twirls and stuff. It's the emotion and the full range that we allow ourselves to access. And that is so much of what we do when we're doing vocal training. It's so much less about the exactness of what we're doing and so much more about how can I open more doors to other places in my voice that exist that I haven't opened yet. And so a lot of the times when I'm working with people, the thing that is the most frustrating is like that, like I can't moment, right? Like I can't do this, or why can't I do that, or why can't I just freaking hit the note, you know? And the thing that gets people there is not me explaining the technique or the anatomy for the thousandth time. Do you hear what I'm saying? I can explain it again and they can try it outside of context and they get it and it works. But in the song, the thing that gets them there is not the technique, it is the emotion. So if you're struggling and you feel like you can only do a certain amount of things, there's lots of things that are out of reach to you in your voice, get in your feels today. Get in your feels. Think of yourself as an actor, right? You don't have to be a method actor, but you have to be willing to go down a path of a possible memory that connects you to the first 10% of an emotion, right? You don't have to go fully there, especially if it's a painful emotion. I'm not asking you to do that. Please don't do that unless you're working with a professional therapist, I mean. And you can play around with the things that your story and your emotions will do for your voice in smaller ways. So I'm saying like 10%, right? Like if I am really having trouble, that's an awesome connection. I'm really having trouble, I'm struggling to, in this big ballad, there's this big note, this big belty note. It's really high and I'm really struggling with it. The amount of times that the only thing I've had to tell myself is just freaking be desperate. And that is the thing that gets me there. It's mind-blowing, right? Tap into your desperation, because that's what those notes are. In a ballad especially, it's like, why did you leave me? When will I have my turn? You know, it's all desperation. It's all loss. It's longing of some kind, because that's what those songs are written about. So tap into the words almost as if you wrote them from a scene from your life, from the movie that is your life. So when we're talking about range in your chest voice and in your head voice, the thing that usually will get people to the top of their range, or to the bottom of their range, honestly, but usually it's the top. Those notes are the hardest, right? Those big chest voicey notes that we have all this like pull feeling, right? You have that extra tension that you feel is like, should that really be there? I don't know. Sometimes the thing that will get you out of that tension just enough to hit that note strongly is not me telling you breathe better. Although I try not to say that. It's not me telling you take a more of a reset breath, right? Release your abs. It's not me telling you open your mouth more, although sometimes that's helpful. Once you get those things going and it's still not happening, the thing that's going to get you there is the emotion behind whatever you're trying to say in that note, right? Like my favorite example of this is I Will Always Love You, right? What a song about desperation and loss, right? So on that big note, that big key changing note, you know the one I'm talking about, right? I'm not going to belt it right now, but in order to get that, no amount of fix your technique and do it right as a direction to yourself is going to help loosen it up, you know? Do it right and do it better and fix your technique is going to tighten up your muscles. If not more than you already are, it will keep them tight, right? So the thing that will get you past that wall is going to be like thinking back just for a second. Is there someone in my life who I feel this way about? Who will I always love? And what am I feeling? Can I tap into that longing for them, that desperation? And then it just comes out, right? There's no problem. Whereas if I wasn't thinking about that and I was just thinking about the technique, there's automatically 5% more tension there because I'm overthinking the intellectualization behind singing, and I'm not just letting myself be a creative, expressive being, which is where singing came from in the first place. It's just a mode of expression, and we were lucky enough as humans to be given as such an extraordinary toolbox and range with which to express ourselves. So why are we cutting ourselves off from that emotion? You know, like, yes, vocal training is important. That's why I'm here. However, I have seen so many people with very little vocal training, I'm talking like first couple months, hit notes that they never thought they would hit by just connecting to the emotion of it. Yes, fuel and space and the vocal training helps, but to get past that wall there, that bridge that we put up, like, oh, nope, I can't cross that bridge. It's not possible for me. we forget that we are emotional beings. And we forget that sometimes we just need to let go of the fear of being imperfect and just let ourselves fully effing express ourselves, right? The reason why Whitney Houston does that song so well is because, yes, she had years of vocal training. I'm not denying that. But that take of that song, guarantee she did like 20 or more takes of that line. They picked the most emotional one. Guarantee. That's what producers do. They pick the one that's going to get to people the most, not the most technically perfect one. Guarantee you every time. So stop forcing yourself to do it so perfectly, and stop allowing yourself to be stopped by this wall of I can't, I don't know how. Because your body knows how. Your voice knows how. Your voice knows how to, in your darkest moments, just start wailing, right? I'm sure you've been in that space. I have. When you're in so much turmoil or pain or desperation for things to be different, that you just can't help but let some big sound out. You know, those moments where you go, why? Right? And you're crying or you're happy or whatever. It's the emotion at its most extreme. Your voice was made for those moments. So don't cut yourself off from that part of yourself as a singer. Yeah, that's all I have to say. You are an emotional being. If it's joy that you're feeling, even better, lean into that joy. Do it. Let the joy take you over and go, okay, and I will always love you. Maybe it's a person that you get to be with and you're not separated from, and it's not about longing. Maybe it's about, I'm so excited that I get to always love you, right? And then that fills you up and gives you the momentum, and your only job is to stop cutting that emotion and that momentum off. Your body knows what to do. You don't have to make something out of nothing. The emotion is the fuel that you need. Your job is to stop closing it off and clamping it down. Let that momentum go. Stop putting the brakes on. Let the emotion drive you when you are singing, especially at the extremes of your voice, especially big high notes, but runs as well. Sometimes runs can get way over technical and in the weeds, but it's so important to tap into what you're trying to say when you're doing that run. You know, it's not always about showing off. In fact, it shouldn't be showing off how many notes I can sing in a row. You know, that's cool, but what am I saying? Like, why am I doing that? What's the purpose behind it? But if I turned it into, and I will always, like, that has emotion behind it. It has momentum behind it. People are going to want to listen more, right? Wasn't that one more exciting than just, zero emotion? I'm just trying to get technically correct. But if I let the emotion follow, and I even just tap in for a second, even pretend that you're feeling an emotion, that can take you way further than it would if you were just trying to sing it from an intellectual perspective. Hey, Sarah, welcome. I'm just finishing up. I'm talking about letting emotion drive you as a singer. And it's been a game changer for so many of my students and myself. Perfection is not all it's cracked up to be, man. Getting notes perfect, who cares? You can tune them, you can vocal line them, but if the emotion's not there, you cannot fake that. That is how good singers are separated from the amateur singers, right? The amateur singers are not fully allowing the momentum to take them into a place of imperfection. You see what I mean? It sounds like that's the opposite of what is happening, right? Like, amateur singers are more imperfect, you would think, than professional singers, like amazing pro singers. But that is not true. Go listen to your favorite pro artist live. not recorded, live. The amount of imperfections that show up from them fully letting themselves go there emotionally, but you don't notice them because you're like so enraptured with what they're doing, is mind-blowing. Like, go listen to somebody's live performance. Listen with a technical ear, with an intellectual ear. Like, okay, that note was a little sharp, that note was a little flat, that was a little cracky there. And then go back and listen, forgetting all that stuff, and just as a lover of music, and let yourself get into the feels of it all. Notice where the chicken skin comes in. It's in those moments, in those imperfect moments, that amateur singers are so afraid of, that they don't let themselves open up enough to get to that place. Hear what I'm saying? Let yourself be driven by your emotion. We are emotional beings. The emotion is not bad. The amount of times I've been told in retail jobs that I'm too emotional, tell you. Good thing I ended up in this career, right? The corporate world and the capitalist world tries to shut off your emotions because it's not personal, but it is personal. Everything is personal because we're a person, and the music you listen to, you love because you're a person and you're a human and you have emotions. If you want to make music, you have to be an open human that shows other humans how imperfect and open you are. And that's how people are going to love your voice. Rolling past the cracks in imperfect moments. Exactly. Yes, yes, yes. It doesn't even matter. Who cares, right? I've left imperfect moments in recordings and nobody noticed but me. And people were like, oh my God, it's so good, right? It really gets me in the feels. Because that's what my focus was. It was not about doing it 20 more times to get the perfect take. It was about, that was the one I was most tapped in. That was where I was the most connected to the feeling when I wrote it. And that was the best one. So follow your emotions. That's all I have to say. That's my rant for today. Stop being a robot. I'm all on the anti-robot train this week. It's not good, y'all. It's not good. We're going into a very strange time. So please, for the love of God, when you make music, keep your humanity. Thank you. That's what I want to hear. And that's what you want to hear at the end of the day. Yeah. Anybody have anything else to say? Let me know in the comments. I'm always here. I am opening a new mini course very soon. If any of you have been wanting to work with me, but like private lessons are not doable, the membership, the Vocal Magic membership is not doable, this is your solution. So stay updated. In the next month before Christmas, I'll be releasing those details. So you can get yourself a little Christmas present. And I hope you do. And I hope that you do a little singing today, just from your dang heart. And that's your homework. Okay. All right. Nice to see you, Sarah. And everybody else who's watching this after, also, I love you. Thank you. Goodbye. Boop.